Hello. Welcome to another episode of Read With Me. I'm so excited to continue reading this book with you. It is Big Money Energy, y'all, by Serhant. I love this guy so much. He's a great guy in real life, and he is an awesome writer. Like, I love books like this because you can really hear him talking, you can really hear like what's going on. So I really appreciate when a book is written like this, and I feel the energy. It's like really great to feel that energy while you're reading a book. So I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to be reading chapter 2. It's Money May. Okay, make sure to grab some water, make sure to grab some tea. Stay hydrated. It's really hot outside wherever you are in the world. I mean, if you're up north or something, I'll send you some heat, because over here, we're currently in Mexico. It is hot, baby. It is hot. One of my goals, I think I'm going to wait another month so it gets really hot. I'm going to crack an egg. I'm going to crack an egg on the sidewalk, and I'm going to record it. I'll share it with you guys. Just make sure to subscribe, hit the like button. Let me know if you're into the whole egg cracking thing, because I'm gonna do it anyways. And I hope that you get to see it first. Alrighty, so let's get into chapter 2 of Big Money Energy. Okay, for the Money May episodes. Okay. All right, so be the future you right now. That is chapter 2. He starts off with a job post, okay? It reads, "Are you a top-level real estate broker who wants to be on TV?" Description: casting real estate brokers in New York City for an unscripted television show. Are you a successful real estate broker selling high-end real estate in Manhattan? Bravo TV is holding auditions for a New York City-based version of $1 Million Listing. Click here to apply. Click. The ad on Curbed.com caught my eye right away. At that point in my life, I wasn't exactly a top-level real estate broker, but I had started selling more apartments after meeting June, and a few more of them were in the 7-figure range. I was definitely moving up in the world. I was now focused on my real estate career, but that was a relatively new decision. The whole reason I came to New York, by the way, is because I wanted to be an actor. I had spent the last 2 years of my life auditioning for television shows, plays, and commercials, and made very little money doing it. In fact, there was little to show for any of the time for that time of my life, other than a brief appearance as an evil doctor on a soap opera and roles in some of the off Broadway plays. Oh, and yes, I was a hand model, okay, as some of you may remember from Cellar Like Serhant. Yep, a professional one. I was paid to hold phones while the director yelled at me for not bending the metatarsal on my ring finger 7 degrees forward. My passion was to act. I had saved up so much money as I could and gave myself 2 years to give it a go in the toughest city in the world. What could go wrong? Well, obviously I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It turns out that you need a lot more money to actually live in Manhattan, and playing the role of a tree in the basement of a production of Macbeth didn't actually pay too well. If I wanted more to life than constant stress about money, I had to face the fact that my acting career wasn't going to cut it. So I got my real estate license to help with the bills. I thought it would just be a survival job, a job that could bring in enough to pay the bills while I worked towards making it on Broadway or landing a role in a movie. But then something surprising happened. I really started to actually like the business. I liked being a salesperson. The rejection wasn't nearly as bad as sales as it felt in an audition. I didn't take it personally. If someone didn't like the apartment, I also felt a thrill every time that I closed a deal. I was satisfied. It was satisfying to connect a person to something that they actually wanted and actually get paid to do so. I figured the $1 million listing opportunity, which combined television, my quickly faded dream, the real estate, which was turning out to be an area where I was actually really starting to shine, was a really great way to take my career to a higher level. I mean, at the very least, I would have a better chance than most brokers. How many real estate brokers had acting training? It's like the opportunity was meant for me. I filled out the short form application that entailed writing down my name and my email address. They were being really selective and received a quick response. Dear top real estate broker, thank you for applying for the $1 million listing. Report to Hudson Hotel. Your scheduled interview is at 1:30 p.m. on a Wednesday, March 10th, 2010. We look forward to seeing you. My Macy's suit was fresh from the cleaners, and I put on my best shirt and a new tie. I made sure my shoes were extra polished, and thankfully my hair was having a good hair day. I felt great. When I reported to the Hudson Hotel at my appointed time, it quickly became clear that I was not the only one that was going to, be in the New York City and have an unlimited supply of wannabe actors. It also had an unlimited supply of real estate brokers who wanted to be on the TV. Well, this is just awesome, okay? The lobby of the Hudson Hotel is dark and moody with a quiet, sophisticated vibe. But that day it was packed from end to end with real estate brokers who were all trying out for the same job as me. Why exactly did I think this was a good idea? I went from feeling like a Superman to bizarro. I sat down on a plush velvet couch, my self-esteem sinking deeper into it with each thought. I was selling more, and I was finally getting comfortable in my career. My inner Superman was cheering me on. You're a great broker, Ryan. This opportunity is perfect for you. Go get it. But then my inner Bizarro said, why are you back at an audition? Then he laughed maniacally because auditions went so well the first time, huh? The world of film and television didn't want you before. Why would they want you now? That's what his inner Bizarro was saying to him. I had talked to my friend David about it. He didn't hide the fact that he thought it was an idiotic idea. He was like, really, Ryan? How will being on a stupid reality TV show be good for your business? Like, I wouldn't hire a lawyer from a TV show. Why would someone hire a television real estate broker? He said with a grossed out expression. My mom's reaction wasn't much better. After a long sigh, I could practically hear her eyes roll through the phone. Who will take you seriously if you're running around town selling a real estate on television? I wouldn't hire someone from Survivor to sell our home. You will make it a joke. You will be making a joke of yourself, she said. That was his mom saying that. All of my insecurities were resurfacing, and the longer I waited, the longer my doubt grew. My inner monologue went like this. This is his self-talk talking. Okay, who am I kidding? I'm not a top broker. That's a joke. I've been only in real estate for a year and a half, and just a couple of years ago, I was sharing a bathroom with a dozen other people. I just moved into a legit studio apartment with its own bathroom, and I don't even have the cash to buy furniture. So what kind of real estate broker eats dinner while sitting on the floor? Well, I was sitting there. I felt more ridiculous and stupid by the second. Apparently, I was trying to prove to myself that I didn't make a good business decision, right? More time passed, and what did I know about selling $1 million listing? Like, or actually even living in them for that matter? Like, I knew nothing. I was the kind of business person who rejects bigger deals because he's too afraid to handle them, because he's convinced he'll fail. Occasionally, someone would toss a great lead my way. One of my finance buddies who had a client with a $10 million budget looking for a place. Rather than seizing the huge opportunities, I say, thanks, but that's not really my thing. What? I was more comfortable clinging to the low stakes, relatively hazard free deals like rental leases with no tricky co op board approvals. Those were just a basic credit check, and voila, here are your keys. I was used to opting for the easy way to make a smaller amount. I'm going to read that line again for you. I was used to opting for the easy way to make a smaller dollar. Everyone will laugh at me. My head screamed. This felt like the time back in Little League when I was so terrified in the outfield, my knees were shaking. I was completely clueless and I was convinced that I was bad at baseball before I even tried. What do I do if the ball comes at me? Right. I should try to catch it, right? But then what do I do with it? What if I can't throw it far enough? Before I could have a full on panic attack on the field, my father arrived right on the field in front of everyone. He said, "Let's go, Ryan. Baseball isn't for you." That's so embarrassing. I walked off the field with such shame, and yet I was so relieved that I didn't have to try. So much could go wrong at this edition. What if they asked me questions about elaborate real estate transactions and I don't know how to answer them? How did I ever think I could be on a TV show about real estate, a profession I had barely just started working in? My head ached. I could fail. Wait, did they just call my name? I extracted myself as quickly as I could from the depth of the ultra plush velvet sofa. I walked to the interview room while my eyes began searching for the winner. Someone in this hotel lobby was going to get on this show, and it obviously wasn't going to be me. Then I looked around the dimly lit lobby and I realized, hey, wait. Even with that expensive lighting, to tell that I was any different from all the other brokers, like, that's impossible. I couldn't tell the top broker who was selling billions from guys like me. And then I thought, wait, why not me? I have I have to be the guy who is killing it if I want this job. That's what they're looking for, and that's what I'm going to give them. I decided that while I might not be the best broker in the Manhattan area, the time to shine was now or never. It felt scary, but I had to just go ahead and throw myself in. I didn't really feel like I could do it, but the big version of Ryan could. Big Ryan was confident, put together, and knew his shit. I had 30 seconds to impress the casting people, so I was going to ramp up my energy and give them what they wanted, the best broker in the world. After a basic introduction, we jumped right into the interview. The camera started rolling and the questions came at me so fast. So, Ryan, how do you get around the city? And before I could whip out my unlimited ride Metro card, I said, black car by day and Range Rover by night. Whoa, what? Who am I? I don't even have a Range Rover, and I only had a black car that one time that June Shen. But like, I guess I could have both if I needed to. They hit me with the next question. So Ryan, what's your favorite animal? What? What kind of question is that? Well, my mind started spinning for a good answer, and I was like, don't say dog. Everyone is going to say dog or lion or shark. Shark is obvious. Then what? Oh my God, I don't know. Go alphabetical. And he says, Advark. Advark. And if you don't know what an advark is, okay, Google it. It's AARDVARK. Look that up. You will laugh. He says, I thought I saw a hint of a smile pass over the casting director's face. Either they liked my unique answer or they thought I was a freak. Advark, really? Why? I shrugged casually, like I had dozens of conversations about advarks in my life. Think, Serhant. What does an advark even look like? Well, because who needs ants? for one, and two, to survive in the concrete jungle of New York City, you have to have a hard outer shell, just like an aardvark. Wow, I'm good. This is kind of fun. I started to relax and I was ready for more Jeopardy when they hit me with how much do you sell? And then I was like, well, I was ready to give a pithy answer about why magenta is favorite color, but now I just answered with quite a lot. If you want the specific details, it would take me a while to tell you. And I just don't have that kind of time today. I'm sorry. Could they see the sweat starting to form on my big white forehead? Well, all right. We have one last question for you. Why should we pick you? Think, Ryan. What can you say to be memorable and not just another flipping hair broker guy? What would Big Ryan say?
Because I'm the greatest fucking real estate broker in the history of the world. And if I had had a microphone, I would have dropped it. Thankfully, I didn't have one.
Here's code number 2, okay? If you need to mask your insecurities, amplify the traits that you are working. So the working traits that you are currently actively using, amplify those traits. And just like that, the interview was over. I left the audition feeling, meh, I just blew it. Why didn't I just tell them that I was a brand new and I'd be perfect? I'd be the perfect underdog for them. I didn't lie to them about anything. In that moment, I honestly believed that I would one day be the best broker in the world. Who could take that feeling away from me? But I could have just been honest and told them that I was a loser who had only done a few deals and was self-conscious about his appearance too. And is it a known fact that psychopaths choose the aardvark as their favorite animal? Like, should I not have said that? I had no idea what to expect. After several weeks of silence, I assumed it was over. Maybe the 300 brokers who were interviewed before me that day also announced that they were the best in the world. Just when I was about to push the audition out of my mind forever, an email arrived saying that I was still in the running. But don't get too excited. So there were 100 other brokers, and they had initially interviewed over 3,000 of us. And over the next few months, I did more Skype interviews with the casting director. They wanted to know that what I was selling and what I would be willing to reveal on the show. So questions like, what's the biggest listing that you have right now? And I mean, could we film it? Do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend or both? Would you be nude on camera? Well, I didn't have any big listings and I didn't have a girlfriend and I didn't feel comfortable being naked in front of millions of people. So I told them I have a $20 million plus listing in Soho coming up and that would be good. I am dating most of Manhattan right now. And, for the most part, when I'm not naked, perfect. They liked those answers. I was giving them the version of Ryan they wanted to put on TV, not the one who watched 4 hours of Saturday morning cartoons and ate directly out of a cereal box. I gave them Ryan amplified. And I was also giving myself heart palpitations. A $20 million Soho listing? Really? Like, how would I ever find that? Dating most of Manhattan? Like, who do I think I was, Mr. Sex in the City? I had to make the projection of Big Ryan a reality. I started cold calling past listings in Soho that had come off the market, not because I actually thought I could sell them like a normal broker, but because I had put a metaphorical shotgun to my head by telling Bravo and NBC Universal that I had a huge Soho listing ready to film, and now they wanted proof. Well, I couldn't find anything, so I Googled Soho penthouse, and an article in the New York Post came up about a guy who had this massive penthouse on Green Street. Apparently, Mr. Defendant hadn't been paying his bills for a long time, and he was being sued by everyone in the building. That guy sounded like he needed to sell. It turns out he was a very pretty well-known photographer back in the day, and his phone number was still on his website. So I called him. Hi, Mr. Defendant. This is Ryan Serhant, top broker in New York City. I'm about to be on the cast of the biggest reality show to hit the universe called $1 Million Listing New York, and I'm looking for one mega penthouse to film in. Interested? Silence. Hello? Don't call me again. Click. Small Ryan would have taken that for it was and never called them back. But Big Ryan doesn't take no for an answer. And current Ryan needs this listing to make Big Ryan happy. So I called him back. Sorry, I don't think you heard me correctly. I can sell your apartment for around 20 million, help you pay off your debts, and we can do it on TV as a big FU to everyone that is suing you. I'll even throw you a party with models and bottles. Let's meet. Is today at 3 or tomorrow at 1 better for you? He responds back, 3, click. I meet Mr. Defendant that same very day. He looked tired and his dark wavy hair was wild. I got the feeling that this guy might have been in a bar fight at 2 at some point during his life. He was a little scary, so I wanted to get right to the point. I'm new to the industry, but I'm hungrier than a feral kitten, and I won't rest until we sell your apartment. I must have said something right because he gave me a tour. A long time ago, he had combined 4 apartments, creating this massive 10,000 square foot palace for himself, right in the middle of Soho. The main living room had 30-foot ceilings, and a smack dab in the center of the room was a Harley Davidson motorcycle he had craned in. He showed me in the photo. He had to shut down Green Street, causing this major traffic headache and infuriating everyone, but there he was, Mr. Defendant, smiling from ear to ear. I think he got off on being bad. He let me list the apartment. I believe he did this actually because of the pity for my feral kitten level of hunger, and because he was surprised I had the balls to cold call him like that. I think he gave me about a 0.2 chance of actually selling it. He wanted to list it for 25 million with an incredibly high asking price for an apartment. And there was one contingency though. Mr. Dependent, he insisted on being on Bravo so he could show everyone suing him, including his devil ex-wife, how cool he was. That is the story of how I got my first $25 million listing. I had an 8-figure Soho penthouse ready to go, contingent on it being on a TV show that I wasn't even casted on yet. So here's where you can actually insert an exploding emoji right here. And I'm going to actually stop here for everyone because in the next video, we're going to talk about the 3 points of persuasion. And I love this story because you gotta, like, when you want something, you gotta go get it. That's 1. And then 2, I love the fact that he's like identifying himself as Big Ryan and, low rent Ryan, like clearly identifying the 2 and boosting himself, amplifying his traits. So now he can actually be the better version of himself. So I do that sometimes, like, what am I scared of? Asking myself those questions when I'm about to interview someone, when I'm about to call someone. Like, I don't like to do those things. I don't like to just put myself out there. So when I have to actually go out there and become this person and get that energy, I have to do those things. I have to use that reassuring self-talk to boost myself up and actually do it. It's one thing just thinking that you can do it, but it's actually doing it that gives you the confidence that you can continue to move forward and do it. So we're about to get into some really juicy stuff in this book. So this is chapter 2, part 1. I'll see you in the next video. It's going to be really, really good. We're going to get into the 3 points of persuasion and the rest of this story. So I'll talk to you soon and have a blessed day.